of shadows.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and today I am once again joined by the lovely
Andrew TMI.
And we are so excited because Andrew is actually in Canada for his very first time ever. And we are going to be spending the next week just filming and putting out content for you guys. So that leads me into my very first point. Please let us know in the comments below what you guys want to see from us, as this time, like I mentioned in Andrew's video on his channel, we're going to be doing things a little different and uploading in real time so you guys can give real suggestions. If there's somewhere in Toronto you want to see us go investigate, comment it. If there's anything you want to see us do, comment it. And while you are at it, head on over to Andrew's channel in the meantime, because we did a reacting to a scary story on his channel that I have to say was probably hands down one of the creepiest I've ever heard.
How scary was it?
It was honestly terrifying.
It was literally insane. And like I'm not big on that stuff, but it was crazy.
So we figured, because we enjoyed doing that so much on his channel, we would once again react to a subscriber's scary story. Now this one was actually one that was sent in to Andrew. You guys know that I have my own email with all of your guys' stories, but because we were kind of skimming through Andrew's, I decided to pick another one of his, and it looks like it's gonna be really, really good.
So basically on my channel, I have like a series where I react to your scary stories, and you guys love when I do it, and I have so much fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I get the emails from you guys, everyone is always asking me for Hailey's opinion and Hailey's help on the situation. I thought since we're together today, it'd be really fun for her to kind of read one of these extremely horrifying stories and give her opinion and give her help for some of you guys to maybe see the light and know what to do in these insane situations, because Hailey's the queen of it all, and she knows, she has all the answers.
You are so sweet. I don't have all the answers, but I can try. So without further ado, we're just gonna dive on into the story, give you guys our honest reaction to it, and then I'm going to try to give the best advice that I possibly can and hear what Mr. Andrew TMI has to say about it all.
I am such a scaredy cat, so...
He's gonna be so scared sleeping tonight.
I didn't read this complete one. Like, I didn't read this one completely either, so like, I'm scared.
Here we go. Ooh, I haven't had a pop socket in so long, and I miss it.
Yeah.
All right. This is from Leah. Hi. I emailed you once before about my dad's Ouija board story, but I have to tell you what's been happening recently. I'm an insomniac. I can rarely sleep through the night unless I'm with my partner, so a lot of the time I'll be awake until 4 or even 5. Some nights, not even sleeping at all. My house is very old and broken, so I almost always sit downstairs on my sofa watching Netflix or YouTube so that I don't disturb my mom. It's just me and her in the house. At first it started with little things moving or disappearing only to reappear days later in the same places we were looking, like mom losing her reading glasses and us ransacking the entire house, and 3 days later we found the glasses at the bottom of the fruit bowl in the kitchen, under a bunch of bananas, apples, and pears. We thought it was strange because she lost them in the front/living room. We brushed it off as to her being forgetful, but then it started happening to me on multiple occasions. Things like wallets and keys would vanish, which were plausible things to easily get lost, so again, we thought nothing of it. Then I would come upstairs and see one of my many books on my bed, the right way up, as if someone had gently put it there for me to read. I should mention I'm obsessed with books. I collect old and vintage books, and they line my bedroom walls. No creases in the bed sheets, as if it had fallen from my shelf, nothing. This is when I began to suspect I had what was referred to as a friendly ghost. We would always joke and say it was my Uncle Pete playing tricks on us. But then, things started progressing. I was upstairs in my room listening to music when I heard a huge crash downstairs. Thinking my mom had fallen or hurt herself, I bolted downstairs, heart racing to see if she was okay. I checked the kitchen first, as it sounded like a glass bowl shattering, but it was empty. So I checked the living room, and it was empty too, nothing out of place. I checked the last room, the bathroom. As soon as I opened the door, I could see shattered glass all on the floor. We always kept loads of mirrors in the bathroom, as we would always get them as gifts for some reason. So we have a cupboard of doors that are mirrored above the sink, one propped on the toilet, and one hanging on the wall.
Who gets mirrors as a gift?
I don't know. I've never got a mirror as a gift.
I feel like mostly everyone has never gotten a mirror as a gift.
That's interesting. I always joked that our boyfriend was a cowboy job because nothing really lined up well. The toilet lid was longer than the seat, so it hung over the edge a bit. And when the lid was up, it stood taller than the tank of the toilet. The mirror always stood behind the button flush in the top of the tank. Yet when I walked in, it was laying face up, broken on the floor in front of the toilet, smashed. Instantly, I knew something was wrong, because the mirror had to be lifted for it to move past the flush and the toilet lid, and even if it had slipped off, it would not land face up. I picked it up and noticed that it shattered as if it had been punched. It broke off center, bottom left, and broke in the pattern that impact causes. Hence, it looked like someone had punched it and then placed it on the floor. It turns out my mom hadn't heard it shatter and didn't know about it till I told her. We joked about it, but we were both on edge. Soon after, light bulbs were found to be unscrewed from the fixtures and unbroken on the floor. More books were taken off my shelves, and then yesterday, the worst happened. After watching The Soul Siblings, I was fascinated and fooled around with the apps on my phone like Spirit Speak and Ghost Radar. Because why not? I don't believe they work. Then, when I was watching the video of you guys in the zoo, it was late, almost 3 a.m. I hear my cat bolt from the kitchen like it was on fire. I get up and look around and notice how dark it was out of the windows. It was instantly unnerving me. So I cracked it up to Your Adventures Spooky Me. Sorry, guys. So I leave my cat to do its thing and head back into the living room to finish my video. I settle down and continue watching when suddenly the video refuses to play. You know, I get that comment a lot.
What?
That people will be able to watch everyone's videos on YouTube, but my really, really like dark videos, they won't be able to watch.
I hate that.
I'm not kidding you, and they'll prove it to me. Like, my video will like be static, or it will be playing with no audio or like weird things, but they can go to another person's and it plays normally.
I don't like that.
I know, it's creepy, and this was happening to her. Let's see. It keeps loading, so I refreshed the webpage over and over. I even closed it and opened a new window, and everything was working fine. So I go back onto YouTube, bring it up again, and it works fine until I click play. The video instantly goes black and refuses to load. By this point, I'm creeped out, as if I shouldn't be watching your videos. I thought that it might just be YouTube, so I tested other videos, music, conspiracy theories, reviews, and movies. Even other Loie, Hailey, and Andrew videos. They were working. Just as I was about to call it quits, the video jumps alive again, and I laugh sarcastically as saying, "Very funny, Uncle Pete," and settled to finish it. Then, at that exact moment, Hailey describes the demon that's been reported to be there, and I hear very loudly and very clearly a scratch on the living room door. I jump and I stare at the door in horror and look between the video and the door. I finally convince myself to get up and investigate, but there was nothing there. It wasn't cat claws. It sounded like human nails on the wood. I don't like that. When I was a kid, there was a scary story that was like, click, click, slide, click, click, slide.
Okay, that's not scary, but this...
I tried to recreate the sound, but I just couldn't. It was violent and unnaturally loud to be intimidated. I just said F it and run upstairs, turning every light in the house on and hiding in bed. Hours later, I go down to check it out and the lights were off. I run upstairs and barge into my mom's room to see if she'd been down, and she was fast asleep. I woke her up and told her everything, but she was half asleep and didn't really believe me. I go downstairs and say in the bravest voice I could, "I banish any beings that aren't of light and love from this house and the people in it. If you are here with the intention of evil, you are not welcome." Silence.
Does that really work?
I think it depends. So it definitely works for just like angry, darker beings, but you have to be persistent. You have to be very strong about it. Sage often helps, but persistency and pushing your light will help. But if it's
like short-term persistency or long-term?
Sometimes both.
Okay.
It can happen in short term, but with that being said, if it's demonic, saging your house or doing things like this will just make it even madder. So you gotta like evaluate the situation first. Silence. Absolute and unnatural silence fell. I stood there for a moment waiting to see if anything happened. Just as I turned to leave, I saw out of the corner of my eye a hunched shadow in the center of the room. I turn and stare at that spot for so long, I don't even know how long, before I felt all these goosebumps on my neck. I turn and look, but there's nothing there, so I head upstairs, eyeing every shadow in my house. When I'm in bed, I'm laying there, praying whatever higher power there is to help me banish this thing. I imagine my light stretching out for me. That's very good.
Would you not be in bed with your mom? I would literally jump.
I would be in bed with my mom,
I don't care how old I am. I would dive in my parents' bed.
Me too. I imagine my light stretching out from me and enveloping my mom in the entire house. Just as I imagine the light touching my mom, I hear this unearthly growl in the corner of the room. I push even harder for my light to fight against it, and it gets louder. I'm terrified, shaking, sweating, sitting in bed, fighting with this thing. I keep getting the thought in my head that if I stop now, it will win. And it kept going through my head, if I stop, it'll win. When suddenly the thought, it'll win, is plastered across my mind, and it's all I can think about. I keep pushing and praying harder until I start praying out loud. My head starts hurting, the back of my skull and my eyes feel like it's being crushed and burned at the same time, and I know I can't stop. Then suddenly, it all stops. No pressure in my chest, no headache, no sense of danger or evil, and nothing on my mind. My head was blank. I sit there, dazed. After a minute of sitting there, I feel this sudden wash of exhaustion, and I remember laying down and waking up the next morning. I hadn't dreamt that night, which is extremely odd for me, because whenever I do sleep, I dream 8 out of 10 times. And I'm a lucid dreamer. But I hadn't dreamt at all. I got up and remembered what happened and instantly terrified again. So I go to stand and I feel my left ankle hurts. I look down, it's swollen and bruised, and I can't really walk on it. Nothing's happened since, but I took my mirror off of my bedroom wall, turned it around, and haven't gone in my room since. Every now and then I feel really tired suddenly, like I'm about to fall asleep, but then I snap out of it and I'm fine again. I don't know what's going to happen, if I won or not, but I have this constant feeling of anxiety and fear now, even during the day. And I keep getting horrible thoughts of hurting people I know and love, or random people on the street, or being hurt, or people betraying me. The thoughts are so explicit I haven't eaten in 2 or 3 days. I'm hoping that if you share this story, someone will know what to do. Stay awesome. P.S. As I was typing this, it took 3 tries for this email to send, and the other YouTube pages of the Soul Siblings videos keep dying and insisting there's no internet. But the rest of my web pages work fine, and there's a clear Wi-Fi signal. Wow.
The fact that this stuff is real and just like doesn't happen to me makes me like so grateful, because
That's very sympathetic, Andrew. I'm sorry it's happening to you, but thank you, Lord, it's not happening to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have so much to say about this.
I'm so upset it's happening to you guys too, but like, thank God it's
He's
not
a little bit
happening to me.
selfish. Okay, so first of all, I want to kind of touch back on the whole LA Zoo thing. I know that especially on my channel, when I've had so many experiences and so many things have happened to me, it can sometimes come across as being overdramatic or misconstrued or for solely entertainment purposes. But I will truly say with confidence, and I don't know how you feel about this, but there was something at the LA Zoo that was very dark.
Actually,
and yeah, look, his arm hairs are standing up. There was something there, and I will tell you guys off camera, like on my life, my grandpa who passed away as my witness, when we got out of the Uber getting home, we all stood there and said a prayer that whatever was there can't come in with us. And like creepy things started happening. And it's just so scary to me that like she would have an experience after me describing that demon. Like it just gives me the chills.
You guys know, like, I don't really buy into like the bull crap of all the haunted stuff and everything, and it really takes a lot for me to believe it. Like, you know, I only started believing it after I really thought about the fact that I saw my grandpa after he passed away.
Like when Andrew sees people like freaking out all the time over paranormal things, he like rolls his eyes and will say to me like, oh my God, as if like it's not that scary all the time.
But then every so often when we do one of them, and when I do one of these paranormal things, it's just a different kind of feeling. It's a dark feeling in the pit of your stomach.
And that was one of them.
That was one of them. One of the few.
The other thing that I really want to touch on in this specific story that also gives me chills is, like you guys know, I've mentioned it plenty of times on my channel, mirrors are actually paranormal hotspots. And more often than not, a lot of people view them as the potential to be a portal to different dimensions. Now, with any portal, great things can come through, but also bad things can come through. So the fact that things increased after a mirror was found shattered and broken as if something punched through it could lead me to believe that something entered into the home through the mirror.
I want to know your thought on mirrors, like how you feel. Just your opinion. You're not putting this on anyone, but your genuine opinion. What you think about mirrors being a portal.
I actually believe it.
You do?
Yeah, in my grandparents' home, the laundry room was actually above the upstairs bathroom, and I used to see a spirit of a woman in the mirror all the time, to the point where I was so terrified, because at the time I kind of associated it with Bloody Mary.
Right.
So at that particular point in my life, like I thought that it was Bloody Mary in the mirror. But with that being said, there's 2 things that I more often than not actually genuinely think have the potential to be portals. I'm not saying every single mirror is a portal, but for an example, I'll give you guys a great example. in history, people would cover up mirrors when people passed away because they believed that if the soul was still there, it would go into the mirror and be trapped. Like, it's known to attract spirits, and spirits are known to be within mirrors and to be able to travel through mirrors. So the mirrors and water are two big portals and big hotspots for me. It doesn't mean that every single mirror is, but I definitely strongly believe in that personally.
It's funny you say that, because even as a kid, like whenever I would go to the bathroom or anything, like in the middle of the night or just anything, before I knew about any paranormal anything, I never wanted to look in the mirror, ever. Because it just creeps me out.
There's something to me about mirrors around 3 a.m.
And TV screens.
Something about it.
For me.
Like, it's just the concept of reflection, but I really think that mirrors could be. So it really freaks me out that the activity increased after the mirror was found broken, and it also kind of is intriguing to me, the fact that the mirror looked as though it was punched. Like, did something punch through to enter into the realm? With that being said, if it's not a demonic force, you could obviously keep continuing to put your white light out there, keep continuing to maybe sage the premises, bring in some holy water, bring in things like that, and there's so much that you could do to cleanse the space. However, the biggest thing that you should avoid is what she's actually doing, and that is giving in and putting fear into it. The minute that you give something dark fear, or you show that you're afraid, you're giving it power. Demons, dark entities, they feed off of your fear. So you cannot go into a situation and show fear, because they're gonna latch onto you. You gotta show that you know that light will always overcome darkness, and with that, it should resolve itself, hopefully.
You do have all the answers.
Thank you, my little munchkin. I feel like I always do this when we film.
Oh, you do?
That's ugly. I hate when I have those hairs at the back.
You know that, like, throughout all of our experiences, I'm not really open to things I know I shouldn't be open to. And I genuinely think that seriously saves me, because even after, like, the crazy paranormal experiences we've had where I've gotten that pit in my stomach and, like, I felt absolutely terrified, we'll go home and I'll just stop thinking about it, and I just genuinely feel like I'm completely closed off to it, and they just can't get to me. And you guys...
It's true. I think it's also, like, a really big thing for you is that you don't pay it any mind, so you're not giving it any power over you.
That's what I mean. I'm bad with my words, but
yeah,
that's exactly what I mean. So I think if you just do not pay it any mind and think, and I say this very loosely, but just imagine that it's fake and that it's not going to happen anymore, it won't happen, because you won't be open to it. And that's what I do. I mean, you could tell me I'm wrong, but that's just what I do. I
think that works for a lot of people. I will say, on, like, expanding off of that, a while back, I was actually talking with Andrew about this earlier today. When I first started making my channel, I was starting to talk about, like, light versus darkness and stuff. I don't know, you guys might know if you've been on my channel for a while, but I went through where things were tapping on my window. Now, the theory is that somebody has put a... Did you hear that? That was the tap tap. And my bedroom filled up with bees, and even in my Annabelle video, a bee came straight for me, and it was so there that they thought it was done in CGI. When they got home, there's a bee! You guys, do you see it? Do you see it? And I really felt like something dark, maybe even evil, was kind of trying to get me to stop pushing so much light. And I was stressed out. I'm definitely allergic to bees. My room would not stop filling with bees. There was no explanation for it. My family can vouch. My skeptic uncle couldn't figure it out, why when the door was open, bees weren't leaving. Like, just this whole thing. And it was this really dark mass I could just feel. And I would see through the shower curtain, and just, so much was happening. You guys probably know. But I just continued to, every time that something would happen, push light, not be fearful, push goodness into it. And I think eventually, when you're vibrating high, negative things don't want to continue vibrating around you because you're messing with their negative vibration. They'll move on to the next thing sometimes. I'm not saying always, but I think that happened for me.
Right, and I think the difference between us is you're so knowledgeable about the paranormal stuff. I know nothing about it, but we both had crazy experiences that we'd like to talk about. And so I think that's why sometimes it's harder for you to be closed off to it more, because you, like, know what to do, and you know... Like, you know all the right things to say and do and how to, like, cleanse or whatever, and I just ignore it because I don't know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, that was a really spooky story. Definitely gives me chills. I hope that we can follow up on both of the videos that we have both filmed. We filmed one on Andrew's channel, like I mentioned earlier. Make sure you guys watch that one. It is terrifying.
Insane.
But even in that one, we're going to try to follow up as well, have Andrew follow up, send an email. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think of this and what you think she should do. And do you think that the mirror may have been a portal for something to get into her world? What do you think our video triggered within whatever was in that home? Let us know in the comments below. And like I said, you guys, Andrew's gonna be here for approximately a week. So let us know in the comments below what you guys wanna see from us going forward. We're gonna be doing tons of live streams, tons of videos. So let us know what you guys wanna see, both scary and funny, both here and on Daily Hailey and on Andrew's channel. So let us know, and that is it for today's video.
That's it.
If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, while you're at it, head on over to Andrew's channel, click subscribe. He's about to hit 100,000, and I really want him to hit it while he's here with me.
That'll be so fun.
I know. We could celebrate with them. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.